Donald Trump is the Republican nominee. Even Paul Ryan has come over. Good for you, Speaker Ryan. Also, Hillary is still in trouble. She might lose California. The gorilla story, we're going to talk about that. I have some comments that I have to make. And a big voice in the Never Trump movement was just silenced on Sirius XM. What talk show host do you think went too far against Donald Trump? I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance. Here's your host, Randall Terry.
All right, let's talk about, well, did you guess? Who did you guess the radio show host was? It was Glenn Beck. And Sirius has suspended his show for the time being. This was bad. And all of the Never Trump people, I hope that you can watch this and just step back. Take some deep breaths, okay? There are a lot of candidates who many of us think would have been a better choice for various reasons than Donald Trump, okay? That choice is now behind us. You can either say, I'm not going to vote, I'm going to vote for Hillary, I'm going to vote for a third-party candidate, or I'm going to vote for Trump. That's it. You only have four choices. Literally, not vote, vote for Hillary, vote for a non-Trump, non-Hillary candidate, or vote for Trump. That's it. So if you're never going to vote for Hillary, then you've got three options left. If you're not going to stay home because you're going to vote, then you've got two options left. And if you, now I'm using logic here, and if you realize that Hillary would be a worse president than Trump, you vote for Trump. Isn't that obvious? So, what's his name? I'm sorry for digressing. Let's get back to Glenn Beck. He had a man on his program, his radio show called Brad Thor. And Thor is a thriller writer who writes sci-fi books and violence books. And he said, and I'm going to read the quote because Sirius XM and a lot of people listening said, I cannot believe that I'm hearing this. Because it was a veiled threat that Trump being assassinated if he was the president, okay? Yeah, I'm not making this up. All right, so here's Thor. This is the author, and Glenn Beck is interviewing. He said, Trump is a danger to America, and I got to ask you a question, and this is serious, and this could ring down incredible heat on me because I'm about to suggest something very bad. It is a hypothetical I'm going to ask as a thriller writer. Oh, okay, we're going to let you couch it. With the feckless, spineless Congress we have, who will stand in the way of Donald Trump overstepping his constitutional authority as president? If Congress won't remove him from office, what patriot will step up and do that if he oversteps his mandate as president? His constitutional granted authority, I should say, as president. If he oversteps that, how do we get him out of office? And I don't think there is a legal means available. Ooh, an illegal means, that means. I think it will be a terrible, terrible position the American people will be in if Trump get Trump out of office because you won't be able to do it through Congress. Oh, you can't do it through Congress? Who's going to step up and be a patriot? I'm going to suggest something that's really bad. He's talking about somebody killing a president. I would agree, Beck says, now here's where Beck got in trouble. I would agree with you on that. And I don't think you actually have the voices we've been talking about, and we've been talking about this off air for a while. I think the voices like ours go away. I don't think we are allowed. And then he goes on to say different things. I despise the Obama presidency. Despise. Okay? President Obama has overstepped his constitutional authority. He has, all right? You'll never hear me ever insinuate that an act of violence be brought against a sitting president. I hated Bill Clinton's presidency with a passion. Fought against him tooth and nail. His attorney general went after me personally, Janet Reno, okay? The presidency has survived a civil war. Okay? The greater threat to this country is the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, an unelected minority that rules like tyrants, okay? There's your threat. If Donald Trump goes outside of his constitutional authority, what would make him that much different than, let's say, Jimmy Carter or Bill Clinton or George W. Bush for that matter? Do you think that George W. Bush was a great president? I mean, come on, people. Take deep breaths. We've got Donald Trump and we've got Hillary Clinton. One of those two is going to be our next president. So you can decide what hands you want your hands to touch. But this kind of nonsense is crazy. What Thor said is nuts. What Beck said, Beck should have said, well, stop. We are not talking about this on my radio show. We are not. If Donald Trump does go over the plantation, we'll start an impeachment movement like we did with Obama. We'll try and get him out of office in 4 years. But this constitutional republic has survived for well over 200 years, and it can certainly survive a Donald Trump presidency. If you own a business and would like to advertise on our program, please contact us. We are currently seen on over 130 television stations from coast to coast. We air at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then all times are local. We have a lot of reach, friend, and this is an opportunity at a great price for you to get your product or your service in front of hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people. Also, if there's something that's important to you and you'd like to have a month where you just say thank you to this ministry or promote a certain ministry or a certain cause, contact us. Our rates are incredibly affordable. You'd be surprised. And you, again, can reach into hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of homes. We're currently seen possibly in over 30 million homes. So give us a call, give us an email, and we'll put a commercial up for you. I say it again. If America can survive the Obama presidency, it can survive a Trump presidency. I'm going to say it. It can survive a Hillary presidency. But here's the problem, people. You've got to listen to me, please. We haven't survived. Our problems, which are many, primarily go to unelected officials. The coup, all right, the judicial putsch, the overthrow of the government, as Anton Scalia said, has happened with the Supreme Court. It's not about the presidency and executive orders. Don't kid yourself, all right? The Supreme Court justices of the United States of America, at least 3 of them, intimated in their dissent in the Obergefell decision, the so-called homosexual marriage decision, at least 3 of the dissenters intimated that violence could happen as a result of that decision. War, bloodshed, okay? Read the decisions for yourself. Anton Scalia said it was a judicial putsch. Putsch is a German word for the overthrow of the government. A judicial putsch. He said it. He's a Supreme Court judge. He was a brilliant man, and he knew exactly what he was saying, okay? So the threat to the republic, primarily the redefining of what it means to be America, God-centered, one nation under God, a self-conscious Judeo-Christian theme, the 10 Commandments, praying in school. All of it has been wiped away and swept away by an unelected minority called the U.S. Supreme Court. Child killing, pornography, the absence of prayer in school, throwing the Bible out of public schools, throwing the 10 Commandments out of public schools and off of public buildings, so-called homosexual marriage. Go down the list, people. These are never things that that Americans voted for. This came from the Supreme Court. So if you're thinking, man, oh man, I hate Trump, I'm a conservative and I despise this guy, well, take a deep breath and look at the list of nominees that he said he would put up for Supreme Court, okay? Because the court has destroyed the country. The court has made a frontal assault on Christianity and on things spiritual as defined by our Maker. It's come from the court. And so Trump has said, here's who I'll put on the court. Who do you want, Trump's picks or Hillary's picks? If for no other reason, you want Trump's picks or Hillary's picks? I'm voting for Trump. I make no bones about it. I despise despise Hillary Clinton's positions. I despise her husband's presidency. I despise the Clinton machine. And I despise whoever it would be that she would put on the Supreme Court of the United States. So this nonsense that Beck allowed, I beg your pardon while I move out of camera. We're under a real time crunch today. This goes off at 3 o'clock. Jesus died at 3 o'clock. So this is called the hour of divine mercy, where we remember Christ's death. And there's a prayer for the sake of his, Jesus, for the sake of his sorrowful passion, have mercy on us and on the whole world. So it's 3 o'clock today when we're recording this for tonight's program. So anyway, if you are worried or if you despise something, it should be the Supreme Court. And you're going to live with whoever Donald Trump picks on the Supreme Court or whoever Hillary picks on the Supreme Court. So what do you want? What do you want? So this nonsense of Trump going outside of his constitutional authority, who's going to stop him? And Beck allowing that on his show was foolish on his part. And he's got to take some deep breaths. And there's a lot of other people who have to take some deep breaths and step back. Okay? Look at the George W. Bush presidency and ask yourself, what did he do to advance the cause of Christian ethics, Judeo-Christian ethics in the public square? Tell me what he did. We kept our country safe from terrorist attacks. He did do that. I think that any president could have done that. All right? I don't think that signing the Patriot Act into law was a really good plan to help create a police state and to help create NASA, or rather the NSA spying on us. Okay? So, for you who are just maniacally partisan, I'm a Republican, I'm a conservative Republican, and Donald Trump is not one of us. Deep breaths, buddy. Deep breaths, lady. Okay? Deep breaths. Do you want Trump to pick the Supreme Court judges, or do you want Hillary to pick the Supreme Court judges? If we can survive an Obama presidency, we can make it with a Trump presidency, and things might end up turning out even a little bit better. Friend, this program is supported by friends like you who believe in what we are doing. We run a very tight ship. Thankfully, we are on over 130 stations across the country, having tremendous impact. We get emails every day. We get letters in the mail, not every day, but almost every day. We hear from people who love what we're doing. What people don't understand is that it's sort of expensive to produce a television show like this. It doesn't require earth-shattering funds, but it does require financial help. So I am asking you, if you enjoy this program, throw us a $10 or a $20 bill every once in a while, or even a $50 or a $100 check. You see the address there on the screen. Your gifts are not tax deductible, by the way, because we want to be able to say what we want to say regarding politics without the IRS telling us no. So if you like the program, I ask for your support. Perhaps you've heard the story, the tragic story, on some levels, about the boy, the 4-year-old, who jumped over the fence, fell down 15 feet into a moat, a huge, rare, endangered gorilla, scooped the child up, took off with him, and the zoo official shot and killed the gorilla. Okay? You can go online. You can read more about yourself, but I want to cut to the essence of the matter. There's more than one essence. What were the parents doing? I mean, come on. I've got 4 little boys. I know what it's like to have a child at a zoo and at a theme park. So if the parents weren't watching the kid was saying he wanted to jump over. Before he went over, he was talking about going over. So the parents, in my opinion, probably messed up. I wasn't there. I can say that I have lost track of a 4-year-old boy for a few seconds, and all it took was a few seconds. I mean, maybe he was with mommy and he said, "Oh, wait, mommy," and he turned and just ran for the fence and jumped over. I don't know. So I can't be that critical of the parents. It's at least a question. Now the police in Cincinnati are considering bringing charges, criminal charges against the zoo. Not for killing the gorilla. It'll be because they didn't have a good enough fence to keep a human out. And they're getting pressure from the animal rights people. So you've got death threats coming to the parents of the 4-year-old. People are threatening to kill the mom and the dad because their son's fall into the gorilla's home is the reason that the gorilla is dead. All right. It's sad that the gorilla's dead. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He was just there in his house. Along comes a human. The problem is, why didn't they sedate him? You shoot them with a dart and it takes up to 4 minutes to sedate the animal. Sometimes they get really frustrated when they're hit. He could have killed the child. He could have killed the boy by one snap of the neck. The gorilla was so strong, the kid was screaming and crying. If the gorilla finally said, "I've had enough of you screaming. I don't know why you're screaming, but shut up," the kid would have been dead. So in a situation like that, you have to kill the gorilla. You can say it with a really sad tone of voice. Sadly, in a situation like that, you have to kill the gorilla. There really is no other ethical option. Unless you're one of the crazy people who do not fear God, who have an agenda. They don't like human beings. They want there to be fewer people in the world. They want forced abortion. They want forced euthanasia. They want sterilization of people. They view humanity as the problem. Are you hearing me? So we have to defend, tooth and nail, the position of the zoo. Yes, it's a tragedy. It's a gorilla. It's not made in the image of God. And then ask around, when you talk to the PETA people, the people for the ethical treatment of animals, ask how many of them are against child killing. Just ask them. Hey, I know that you really want to protect kitties and doggies and gorillas, and I respect that. How do you feel about killing unborn babies? Are you opposed? Or do you support a woman's right to choose? Because if these people want to protect a kitty or a dog or a gorilla or an eagle, or you're fill in the blank, and they don't want to protect innocent human life, human beings made in the image of God, human beings with an immortal soul. If they don't want to protect those human beings, then they're ethically skewed, okay? There's something wrong with them. There's something wrong with them ethically. Their moral compass is shattered. And those are not the kind of people that you want to put in charge of any kind of government policy. Any kind of policy. So it's sad that the gorilla was killed. Thank God that the boy is alive. And I'm sorry, the gorilla is a gorilla. The boy is a human being made in the image of God. The zoo did the right thing, and no criminal charges should be filed. I'll be right back. Got something to show you. I want to invite you to go to our website. Almost every book that I have ever written is available as a PDF online for free. We have a ton of products, training materials, tools that are available for you for free. All we ask for is that you give us your email address. That's it, so that we can stay in touch with you, and yes, from time to time, ask you to support this work. So I'm inviting you, go to the website. Now, for those of you who say, well, I don't want a PDF, I want a real book. You can get one of my books. All you have to do is pay for shipping and handling, and then give whatever gift you want. And if you can't afford anything, we'll send you the book for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Why are we doing all this? Because we want to change the direction of the country, and we need to raise up a fresh generation of warriors to do that. That's why we have this tool. I invite you, go to the website, see for yourself. If you are a contributor to any number of good causes, Christian groups, legal groups, all kinds of stuff, You have undoubtedly noticed a spike, a sudden spike, in the amount of mail coming to you asking for funds, somehow touching on Islamic terrorism. Okay? And also on refugees and the number of illegal immigrants or legal immigrants that are coming into the country who might be connected to terrorism. Now, the reason that they're sending out these letters is because it's a hot button issue. It's what in the fundraising world is called a hot button issue. You can raise money off of it because we're concerned, as we should be. But I want you to notice something. Read every single one of them really slowly. Guess what they never do? They never say why. They never give you the why of terrorism. Never. Because they don't know it. We know it. I'm going to show you a trailer right now. The trailer for What Would Muhammad Do? We're in the finishing stages of a 10-part series, 10 episodes, showing the direct link from Muhammad's life and his example to what Muslim terrorists are doing. When this is over, I'm going to ask you to help us financially to finish this project. Watch the trailer.
I also want to speak tonight directly to Muslims throughout the world. We respect your faiths. Its teachings are good and peaceful. And those who commit evil in the name of Allah blaspheme the name of Allah.
Islam is a religion of peace. They are not Muslims, they are monsters.
At the same time, we have reaffirmed again and again that the United States is not and never will be at war with Islam. Islam teaches peace.
No, we are at war. New York, Boston, San Bernardino, Paris, Brussels, Madrid, London, Sydney, all over the world, Muslim terrorists are killing or enslaving their victims. Why? What motivates ISIS, Al-Qaeda, the Muslim Brotherhood, and so-called lone wolves? The answer lies in the life of one man, Muhammad, the founder of Islam. Why do Muslim terrorists behead their hostages? Why do they murder people who satirize Muhammad in cartoons? Why do they take women as sexual slaves? Why do they have such deep hatred for the Jewish people? Because Muhammad did. Muslim terrorists have not hijacked the peaceful religion of Islam. They are following the example of its founder. Over 9 episodes, we will study different aspects and events of Muhammad's life, events that form the central motivating narrative for Muslim terrorists. In each episode, we will find out why Muslim terrorists believe their atrocities are ordered by God. You will learn how terrorists read ancient Islamic literature that they believe justifies their violence to non-believers. You will witness Muhammad's hatred of the Jewish people and how that continues to this very day. We will pull back the veil on the long history of sexual slavery and violence against women that has been committed since the dawn of Islam. If we hope to win this war, we must know our enemy, because Muslim terrorists are already fighting to the death, whether we believe in Muhammad or not. Well, friend, you can see it. It's the why. If you'll give $35 to help us finish this, we'll send you the entire 10 episodes when it's done. If you'll give $100, we'll send you 4 sets, DVD sets. We need your help. No one has ever done what we're doing. And the simple fact is this: Islamic terrorists have not hijacked the peaceful religion of Islam. Islamic terrorists are following the example of the founder of Islam. They're doing what Muhammad would do because it's what Muhammad did. Please contact us, the location's on the screen, and give what you can.